Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and today I'll be reviewing the Korua pencil. This board is equipped with Korua's float camber profile, so what that means is you're going to have camber from under that front foot all the way through the tail with rocker in the nose. What that's going to do is that camber is going to give you all of that drive, power, and snap you're looking for with that float in the nose and the ease in and out of turns because of that rocker. This board comes in a 138, a 147, a 153, a 159, and a 164. I rode this board at Arapahoe Basin where it started off a beautiful sunny day, nice warm snow where it was a little firm underneath but you could still lay your edge into it. About halfway through the day it did get super flat light and then that snow pretty much just firmed up, became really chunky and chundery, and then even at the end of the day it got even worse and thunder snow started coming down where it was those little snowballs that really just slow you down out there and don't add to the snow total. I used my Ride Fuse boots and my Jones Mercury bindings. When we're talking flex on this board, it is going to have a directional flex where it's going to be softer in the nose and gradually get stiffer as you work your way back to that tail. I would say it really is noticeable right about in the middle here where you notice that front foot, or under that front foot, you notice it flexing where it really doesn't want to flex much in that tail. And that pretty much directly translates right into the stability where this nose does flap a little bit. It's not super noticeable. I really had to look down to actually spot it. So when you're riding it, you don't feel it. It's pretty damp, little bit of lively tendencies when you do get on that chundery snow, that firmer stuff. But for the most part, it is gonna be nice and stable. This board has a pretty decent pop to it where it doesn't take a whole bunch to load up, not like the Cafe Racer where it's crazy stiff, that sort of thing, but it does have that similar style of pop to it where it's more of that race pop where it shoots you straight out as opposed to straight up. So when you're loading this thing up, you don't have to go super hardcore on it and really fully lean and accentuate that movement. You can just simply kind of lean back and let that thing spring you up. Since that tail is a little stiffer, it does give you a pretty solid pop to it, but don't expect to be going over any lift shacks or any slow signs. Since I have you here, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. This board really isn't made to butter, but that being said, you still have a nice surface area to work with on the nose here where that's going to be the more butterable section of this board where when you get to the tail, it's really not that butterable. It is shorter, so that sweet spot gets a little bit tighter where it's going to be back on that contact point. It does put up a little bit more of a fight as well, so when you're pressing into it, it feels like this board kind of just loads up to pop. When you're buttering on the nose, however, it is that huge surface area, so you can really lean into this thing, and pretty much you don't have to even lean that hard into it. If you feel yourself shifting your weight over the contact point, you probably went a little bit too far. It really doesn't require that much, but that being said, don't really expect a giant pop out of the nose as well. This board carves extremely well. The first thing I did notice, it took me actually a couple runs to figure this out to get it to really carve to its full potential, but you pretty much disengage this front foot and put all that power on the back foot, allowing this thing to make nice swoopy carves, especially those medium and larger carves where it feels nice and smooth and stable on those carves. When you do go for those short ones, you can engage that front foot where it's not going to be laying in as deep of an edge, so you don't really have to worry about it. When you are going for those big ones though, those Euro carves, that sort of thing, really center your weight towards the back here. That's where all your power is coming from. Rider in mind. The rider for this board is somebody that's going for those cruisy to those high speed carves. They're not getting in the park, they're not trying to jump off of cliffs or anything like that. They're just keeping it on the ground and they're just laying it edge to edge. If you're looking to support us further, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you ask? I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting really in depth with it. I enjoyed this board. It does what it's made for extremely well, and I really love the shape on this thing. I think this is such a rad shape, but overall, a super good board that if you're looking for that cruisy to aggressive carver and you're not looking to get in the park or anything, this would be a great board for you. I would definitely recommend it. Comparable boards, the Jones Freecarver 6000, the Arbor Padre, and the Salomon Super 8. Recommended bindings: the Rome Katana, the Salomon Highlander, and the Yes Drive. This has been my review for the Korua pencil. If you're sold on this board but are unsure of which bindings to pick up for it, why don't you go check out one of the reviews for the recommended bindings.